Welcome to Dr. Rajkumar's Learning App. In today's discussion, we'll be discussing about the Summit for Democracy. As you can see, the US government has announced the Summit for Democracy. It was the brainchild of President Joseph Biden, who feels that democracy doesn't happen by accident. We have to defend it, fight for it, strengthen it and renew it. This is his core idea behind the call for the summit. Joseph Biden, even before he became the President of United States of America last year, he had already told in the rallies and campaigns that like-minded countries around should gather and fight corruption and authoritarianism and should try to advance the human rights. He's been a champion of human rights for a long time now. And based on this year is called the Summit for Democracy. As I told, the summit will be held on December 9th and 10th and it will be a virtual summit. Most important, it will be a virtual summit and leaders from not only the government, even from the civil society and the private sector will be called forth to participate in the summit. This is a very key important point that not only governments but even civil societies and private sectors have been invited to the summit. And the summit will focus on the challenges and opportunities facing democracies. This is the core focus, and also it will try to bring about commitments, reforms and initiatives by the government, civil society and private sector to defend democracy and human rights, not only at home but also abroad. So this will be the focus mainly, the challenges and opportunities as well as to announce collective commitments, reforms and initiatives, right? Remember these 2 points. And the 3 important themes for the Summit for Democracy is defending against authoritarianism, addressing and fighting corruption, and promoting respect for human rights. So these are the 3 themes on which the summit will be focusing on. And coming to the invitees to the summit, well, based on the Freedom House's index report, Freedom House's 2021 report, you can classify the invitees into 3 types. 69% of them are free, 28% are partly free, and 3% are not free. What does this mean, free, partly free and not free? Well, it is speaking about the democracy status in those particular countries based on the Freedom House's 2021 report. And a total of 110 countries have been invited. If you can look at the region, almost the complete North and South America has been invited and Europe has been invited, 39 countries from Europe. Only 2 countries from the Middle East and North Africa have been invited. 2 countries, which are they in the Middle East? One is Israel and a surprising entrant is Iraq, right? And coming to the South Asia, so we find that 4 countries have been invited. That is India, of course, Pakistan, Nepal and Maldives, right? Conspicuous in the absence is Singapore, right? Singapore, China, Russia. As you can see, these 3 countries are conspicuous in the absence, as well as the Middle East countries who are the allies of America. Coming to the issues that we see that is surfacing as a result of the call for the Summit for Democracy. Beijing is completely annoyed because we find a surprising entrant in the Summit for Democracy, that is Taiwan. We know for long that Beijing always has made it clear that Taiwan is a part of China and should not be represented in international summits on a separate basis. And this call for Taiwan to participate in the summit has annoyed China because it feels that Taiwan is being given a separate country status. And coming to the second part, the focus on human rights. We know that China has been a perpetual offender of human rights, especially coming to the Uyghurs issue that's taking place in the Xinjiang region. We know that China has systematically violated the human rights not only with respect to Uyghurs, even coming to the Tibetan issue too. Now, thirdly, what is annoying Beijing is many big countries are being invited to the summit and China is not being offered a position to participate in the summit. This has also annoyed China, right? Coming to the other issues, we find that even Russia is not in agreement because Russia, which is also a democracy, has not been invited. And Russia complains that Washington is trying to privatize the term democracy. Turkey, a NATO ally of the United States, whose President Recep Tayyip Erdogan was dubbed as an autocrat by Mr. Biden, also did not make it to the list. This is the major snub because Turkey is a NATO ally of the United States. And neither did the city-state of Singapore or Bangladesh, one of the world's most populous democracies, make it to the list. And coming to the Middle East, as I said, all the traditional Arab allies of the US, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Qatar, UAE, are all absent, which implicates that these countries are not fighting to promote the human rights. The conspicuous absence of these countries is an indicator by the United States that they have a lot to improve in terms of human rights, authoritarianism, or giving freedom to people. Now, what's in it for India? Well, India's democracy standing has been bolstered on international stage by making it to the list. India's democratic credentials have again been burnished on the international stage, and it's an indicator that India is progressing with respect to its democratic indicators. And it can also expect in this summit democratic commitments, especially from Pakistan, Nepal and Maldives, which are actually facing huge democratic problems. Coming to Pakistan, we can see that Pakistan has consistently faced democratic issues and the democratic system is actually very weak, often overshadowed by the military system. And coming to Nepal, the rise of authoritarian leaders has also put democracy in a bit of jeopardy. And this summit will actually strengthen democracy of these particular countries, as they have to give some commitments and have to take some initiatives and reforms on the international stage. And participation of India is seen as a counter to China's authoritarian policies, as we can see from the summit that with the invitation of Taiwan, US has completely singled out China and told that it does not entertain authoritarian policies of China. So this was about the Summit for Democracy. We'll have to see on December 9th and 10th how this will pan out, how the Summit for Democracy will have an impact on the international stage. For more updates on this, subscribe to our channel and download our app. Until then, keep learning and reach further. Thank you.